The lights on the medical station blinked red. Dr. Zexai looked at the warning signals with growing worry. His crystal body glowed dim blue as stress filled his mind. Around him, dozens of alien doctors moved quickly through the halls of the biggest hospital in space. The Galactic Medical Station Hippocrates was huge. It floated in empty space between 3 star systems. Ships came here from all over the galaxy when someone was very sick. The station had the best doctors from every known race. If they could not help you, no one could. But today, even these brilliant doctors were losing hope. Zexai walked into the main treatment room. Patient floated in a special chamber filled with blue energy. Ambassador Veltar looked like a cloud of silver light that kept changing shape. Sometimes the light was bright. Sometimes it was so dim you could barely see it. Right now it was getting dimmer by the hour. "How long does he have?" asked Dr. Kethmer. The tall alien had green skin and 4 arms. His people were known for never giving up on patients. But even he looked defeated. Zexai checked the readings on his scanner. The numbers were all wrong. Maybe 3 days, maybe less. Around the room, other doctors shook their heads. Dr. Yelena from the Bio Collective had tried to fix Veltar's energy patterns with her genetic tools. She failed. The mind healers from the Cerebral Dominion could not reach Veltar's thoughts. Even the ancient temporal physicians had given up. They could turn back time in a living body, but Veltar was not really alive the way other beings were. Veltar was an ethereal. His people were made of pure energy that could exist in many dimensions at once. They were beautiful and wise. They helped keep peace between the different races in the galaxy. But their bodies were impossible to understand. No doctor had ever successfully treated a sick ethereal before. "What exactly is wrong with him?" asked Dr. Marin. She was young for her people, only about 200 years old. Her fish-like body was covered in scales that changed color when she was confused. Right now they were flashing yellow very fast. Zexai pulled up a hologram that showed Veltar's energy patterns. His quantum matrix is collapsing. Think of it like, imagine a song that is played in perfect harmony. Now imagine that song slowly becoming noise. That is what is happening to Veltar's body. The other doctors studied the hologram. The patterns looked like a beautiful dance of light that was slowly falling apart. Lines of energy that should have been smooth were becoming jagged. Colors that should have been bright were turning gray. "We have tried everything," said Dr. Kethmer. "My people's healing crystals did nothing. The bioscanners cannot read his structure. Even the quantum field generators just made him worse." Doctor Yelena nodded sadly. "My genetic rebuilders cannot work on pure energy. There are no cells to fix, no DNA to repair. He is unlike anything we have ever seen." Zexai felt very tired. He had been a doctor for over 300 years. He had saved patients that other doctors said were hopeless. He had learned to heal beings from dozens of different worlds. But this was beyond anything he knew how to fix. The worst part was not just that Veltar would die. Veltar was an important ambassador. He was supposed to sign a peace treaty next week between 12 different worlds. Without him, the treaty would fail. There might even be war. Millions of beings could die because they could not save one patient. "Maybe we should call his family," suggested Dr. Moran. "Let them say goodbye." Zexai was about to agree when he heard a small voice behind him. "Excuse me?" All the doctors turned around. Standing in the doorway was a human. She was short and thin with brown skin and black hair tied back in a simple way. Her clothes were wrinkled and she carried a metal cup that steamed with some kind of hot drink. Humans were the newest race to join the galactic community. Their technology was very basic compared to the other races. "Yes," said Dr. Kethmer. He did not try to hide that he was annoyed. This was not a time for interruptions. "I am Dr. Sarah Chen from Earth. I have been watching this case for the past few hours. I was wondering if I could take a look at the patient." The room became very quiet. Several doctors looked at each other with surprise. Dr. Kethmer made a sound that might have been laughing if it was not so bitter. "You want to help?" he asked. "Human, we have the best doctors in the galaxy here. We have technology that your people will not invent for 1,000 years. We have tried everything." Dr. Chen took a sip from her metal cup. "I understand that. but sometimes a fresh pair of eyes can see things that others miss. I have spent 3 years studying how different alien bodies work. I might notice something you have not thought of. Dr. Yelana's scales turned purple with disbelief. Could you possibly know that we do not? Your people still use chemical medicines and cut open bodies with knives. We work with quantum fields and genetic codes. That is true, said Dr. Chen calmly. But maybe that is exactly why I might help. You are all thinking like advanced aliens. I think like a simple human. Zexai studied the small human doctor. There was something in her eyes that reminded him of why he became a doctor in the first place. She was not giving up before she even tried. What do you want to do? He asked. Dr. Chen walked closer to Veltar's chamber. First, I want to read everything you have learned about his condition. Then I want to talk to him. Then I want to try something that none of you have tried yet. What is that? Asked Dr. Kethmer. Dr. Chen smiled and held up her metal cup. I want to treat him like he is a person, not just a problem to solve. But first, could someone please hold my tea? Dr. Kethmer stared at the human for a long moment. Then he made a sound that was definitely laughing, but not in a nice way. You want to treat him like a person? He said. Human, we are doctors. Of course we treat patients like people. Have been doing this for centuries, while your species was still living in caves. Dr. Chen did not look upset by his words. She just nodded and said, I am sure you are all excellent doctors, but maybe we think about patients differently. Dr. Yelana's scales turned bright red. Different how? We have studied every part. Of his energy matrix, we have run every test known to science. We have used machines that can see into other dimensions. What more could we possibly do? Said Dr. Chen, setting her teacup on a nearby table. Have you asked him how? He feels. The alien doctors looked at each other with confusion. Dr. Marin spoke first. Of course we asked about his symptoms. He told us about the pain in his quantum field and the way his dimensional awareness was fading. That is not what I mean, said Dr. Chen. I mean, have you asked him how he feels about being sick? Have you asked him what he's afraid of? Have you asked him about his life? Dr. Zexai's crystal body flickered with interest. Why would that matter? We are treating his physical condition, not his emotions. Dr. Chen walked over to Veltar's chamber. The silver light inside was very dim now. On Earth, we learned something important about healing. The mind and body are connected. When someone is very worried or sad or scared, it can make their body sicker. When someone feels hopeful and cared for, sometimes they heal faster. That is primitive thinking, said Dr. Kethmer. Advanced medicine works on the cellular level, on the quantum level. Emotions are just chemical reactions in the brain. Maybe. For your people, said Dr. Chen. But what if ethereals are different? What if their energy bodies are affected by their thoughts and feelings in ways you have not considered? Dr. Yelana made an annoyed sound. Even if that were true, which I doubt, how would you test such a theory? Ethereal psychology is completely unknown to us. Dr. Chen smiled. That is where being a simple human might help. We have been studying minds and feelings for thousands of years. It is one of the few things we are actually good at. Dr. Zexai moved closer to the human. Explain what you mean. Dr. Chen pointed to the readings on the medical scanners. Look at when his condition started getting worse. 3 weeks ago, right? That was when the peace talks began to have problems. Veltar has been under enormous stress trying to prevent a war between 12 different worlds. Stress does not cause quantum matrix collapse, said Dr. Kethmer firmly. How do you know? Asked Dr. Chen. Has anyone ever studied what stress does to an ethereal? Have you ever treated an ethereal who was under this much pressure before? Room became quiet. The truth was that ethereals almost never got sick. They lived for thousands of years, and their energy bodies usually fixed any problems by themselves. This was the first time any of them had seen an ethereal patient, Doctor. Marin's scales turned thoughtful blue. You think his mind is making his body sick? I think his mind and body might be the same thing, said Dr. Chen. From what I have read about ethereals, they exist across multiple dimensions at once. What if their thoughts and feelings exist across those dimensions too? What if emotional pain can cause the same kind of damage as physical pain? Dr. Yelena shook her head. Even if you are right, how would you fix such a problem? We cannot prescribe medicine for sadness or worry. Actually, my people do that all the time, said Dr. Chen. That is not what I want to try first. I want to try something even simpler. What? Asked Dr. Zexai. I want to talk to him, really talk to him. Not about his symptoms or his test results. I want to know about his life, his fears, his hopes. I want him to know that someone cares. About him as a person, not just as a patient. Dr. Kethmer threw his forearms up in frustration. This is ridiculous. You're wasting time on human nonsense while our patient is dying. At that moment, a weak voice came from the chamber. It was Veltar, speaking through the translation. Device, please. Let me hear what the human wants to say. All the doctors turned to look at the chamber. Veltar's silver light pulsed slowly as he spoke. I have been listening to your conversation. The human is the first person to suggest that my feelings matter. Everyone else talks about me like I am a broken machine that needs to be fixed. Dr. Yelena looked embarrassed. Ambassador! We only want to help you get better, I know, said Veltar's weak voice. But for 3 weeks, doctors have been poking and scanning and testing me. No one has asked me what it feels like to know that millions of people might die if I fail. No one has asked me what it is like to feel my body falling apart piece by piece. Dr. Chen moved closer to the chamber. Would you like to talk about those things? Yes, said Veltar. I would like that very much. Dr. Kethmer stepped forward. Ambassador, I must protest. This human has no training in ethereal medicine. She could make your condition worse. Veltar's light flickered with what might have been amusement. Doctor, your advanced medicine has already failed. My quantum matrix is still collapsing. In 2 days, I will be dead. What exactly could this human do to make things worse? The alien doctors had no answer for that. Dr. Zexai looked at Dr. Xi, looked at Dr. Xi. Chen for a long moment. Finally he said, What do you need? Dr. Chen picked up her teacup and took a sip. It's this time to listen. And maybe someone could hold this while I work. I have a feeling I am going to need both hands. Took the cup from her. It was warm and smelled like plants from Earth. How long do you need? Dr. Chen looked at Veltar's fading light. As long as it takes. Healing the mind is not something you can rush. Dr. Kethmer shook his head. This is madness. We are trusting the life of the most important ambassador in the galaxy to primitive human psychology. Dr. Chen sat down next to Veltar's chamber and smiled at the dim silver light inside. Hello, Veltar. My name is Sarah. I know you are scared and in pain. Would you like to tell me about it? The other doctors watched in amazement as Veltar's light grew just a tiny bit brighter. It was the first improvement they had seen in 3 weeks. Dr. Chen sat very still and listened. For the first hour, she did not say much. She just asked simple questions and let Veltar talk. The alien doctors watched from across the room, checking their scanners and whispering to each other. Tell me about your home, Dr. Chen said softly. Veltar's light pulsed slowly as he spoke. My people live in the space between stars. We dance through cosmic winds and sing with the vibrations of planets. When I was young, I could feel the heartbeat of entire solar systems. That sounds beautiful, said Dr. Chen. You miss it every day, said Veltar. But I came here to help prevent war. 12 worlds were ready to fight each other. Many would die. I had to try to stop it. Dr. Chen nodded. That must feel like a very heavy responsibility. It does, Veltar admitted. Sometimes I lie here and think about all the families that will be destroyed if I fail. Children who will never grow up. Parents who will lose everything. All because I could not find the right words to make peace. Dr. Kethmer looked at his scanner readings. To his surprise, some of Veltar's energy patterns were becoming more stable. Not much, but enough to notice. The readings are changing, he whispered to Dr. Zexai. I see it, Zexai replied. But how is talking about feelings affecting his quantum matrix? Dr. Chen continued her gentle questioning. Veltar, when did you first notice you were getting sick? It was during the worst day of the peace talks, Veltar said. The representatives from the warrior clans and the Trade Federation started shouting at each other. They said terrible things. I tried to calm them down, but they would not listen. That night I felt something break inside me. What kind of break? Asked Dr. Chen. Like a song that suddenly went out of tune. My energy started to feel scattered, confused. I could not hold all my dimensional parts together as well as before. Dr. Chen was quiet for a moment, and she asked Veltar, when your people get upset or stressed, what normally happens? We share the feeling with others of our kind. The community helps carry the emotional weight. But I am the only ethereal on this station. I have been carrying all this stress alone. The alien doctors looked at each other with growing understanding. Dr. Marin's scales turned bright yellow with excitement. He's right. Ethereals are community beings. They are not meant to handle strong emotions by themselves. Dr. Yelena studied her bio readings. His energy field has been trying to process massive emotional stress without the support network his species needs. That could definitely cause system failures. Dr. Chen smiled but kept her attention on Veltar. You have been very brave trying to save so many people all by yourself. But you do not have to carry this weight alone anymore. What do you mean? Asked Veltar. I mean that humans understand about feeling overwhelmed and scared. You know what? It is like to worry about things that are bigger than ourselves. You are not alone with these feelings anymore. Veltar's light grew a little brighter. You really understand? I do, said Dr. Chen. On Earth, we have a saying. We say that a problem shared is a problem halved. When you tell someone else about your worries, they become smaller and easier to handle. For the next 2 hours, Dr. Chen helped Veltar talk about all his fears and worries. She asked him about the peace talks, about his homesickness, about his fear of failure. She listened to everything without judging or trying to fix things quickly. The alien doctors watched in amazement. His quantum matrix was still damaged, but it was no longer falling apart. Some of the chaotic patterns were starting to organize themselves. This should not be possible, whispered Dr. Kethmer. Emotion should not affect quantum mechanics. Doctor. Zexai was thinking hard. But what if we have been wrong about how ethereals work? What if their thoughts and feelings are part of their physical structure? Dr. Chen heard them talking and turned around. That is exactly what I think is happening. For ethereals, the mind and body are not separate things. They are different parts of the same energy system. She turned back to Veltar. I want to try something new now. I want to teach you a human technique for managing stress and fear. We call it meditation. What is that? Asked Veltar. It is a way of calming your mind and organizing your thoughts. Might help you control your energy patterns better. Doctor. Kethmer stepped forward. Human meditation is not medicine. It is just sitting quietly and thinking. Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful, said Dr. Chen. Veltar, are you willing to try? Yes, said Veltar. Nothing else has helped. I will try anything. Dr. Chen began teaching Veltar how to focus his attention on one thing at a time. She showed him how to notice his thoughts without being controlled by them. She taught him breathing exercises, even though ethereals did not really breathe the way other beings did. Imagine your energy flowing like a calm river, she said. When worrying thoughts come, just notice them and let them float away like leaves. On the water. As Veltar practiced these techniques, something amazing happened. His quantum matrix began to stabilize more and more. The chaotic energy patterns started to flow in harmony again. His light grew brighter and steadier. Dr. Yelena stared at her readings in disbelief. His dimensional coherence is improving faster than our best quantum treatments could achieve. Dr. Marin's scales flashed every color she had. This possible? Dr. Chen smiled. Because we stopped treating the symptoms and started treating the cause. Veltar was not dying from a quantum disease. He was dying from a broken heart and an overwhelmed spirit. Veltar's voice was stronger now. I can feel myself coming back together. The scattered parts of me are finding their way home. Dr. Zexai looked at the human doctor with new respect. You have done something that all our advanced technology could not do. Dr. Chen stood up and stretched. I just listened to him and taught him some simple techniques that humans have known for thousands of years. Sometimes the oldest solutions are the best ones. She picked up her teacup from Dr. Zexai and took a long drink. But we are not finished yet. Veltar is stable now, but we need to make sure he stays that way. Over the next 12 hours, Dr. Chen worked with Veltar like no doctor had ever worked with a patient before. She did not use machines or medicines. Instead, she used words, patience, and something the alien doctors had never seen before in medical treatment, genuine friendship. "Tell me about the peace treaty," Dr. Chen said as she sat beside Veltar's chamber. "What makes it so difficult?" Veltar's light was much brighter now, but there were still dark spots that flickered with worry. "The 12 worlds have been enemies for so long, they do not trust each other. Every time we almost reach agreement, someone remembers an old hurt or fear." "What do you think they really want?" asked Dr. Chen. "They want to feel safe," said Veltar. "They want to protect their families and their way of life. But they think the only way to be safe is to be stronger than their enemies."
Elder Chen
Nodded. "That sounds very familiar. Humans feel the same way sometimes. We have fought many wars because we were afraid of each other. How did your people learn to make peace?" asked Veltar. "Very slowly and with many mistakes," said Dr. Chen. "But we learned that real safety comes from understanding each other, not from being afraid of each other." As they talked, Dr. Chen noticed something interesting. When Veltar spoke about his hopes for peace, his energy patterns became more organized and beautiful. When he worried about failure, the patterns became messy and dark. His emotions were directly connected to his physical health. Dr. Zexai had been watching and measuring everything. "The correlation is perfect," he told the other doctors. "When Veltar feels hopeful, his quantum matrix stabilizes. When he feels afraid, it becomes chaotic again." Dr. Yelena was amazed. "We have been thinking about ethereal biology all wrong. Their bodies are not separate from their minds. They're the same thing expressed in different ways." Dr. Kethmer was still having trouble accepting what he was seeing. "But how can emotions affect quantum fields? It goes against everything we know about physics." Dr. Marin's scales turned thoughtful purple. "Maybe our physics is incomplete. Maybe consciousness and quantum mechanics are connected in ways we never imagined." Dr. Chen heard their discussion and smiled. "On Earth, we have been studying this connection for a long time. We call it the mind-body connection. When someone believes they can get better, they often do get better. When someone loses hope, they often get sicker." She turned back to Veltar. "I want to try something new now. I want to teach you a human technique called visualization." "What is that?" asked Veltar. "It is using your imagination to help your body heal. Picture yourself being healthy and strong. Your mind helps make it real." Dr. Chen guided Veltar through the exercise. "Imagine your energy flowing perfectly through all dimensions. See yourself at the peace treaty, helping the 12 worlds find agreement. Picture the joy and relief when war is prevented." As Velta followed her instructions, something remarkable happened. His quantum matrix did not just stabilize, it began to improve beyond his original baseline. The energy patterns became more complex and beautiful than they had ever been. "This is impossible," whispered Dr. Kethmer. "He is becoming healthier than he was before he got sick." Dr. Chen continued working with Veltar. She taught him how to manage stress before it could damage his energy field. She showed him how to stay connected to his sense of purpose, even when things seemed hopeless. Most importantly, she helped him understand that he did not have to be perfect to be valuable. "You do not have to save everyone," she told him. "You just have to do your best and trust that it will be enough." "But what if I fail?" asked Veltar. "What if the peace talks collapse and there is war?" "Then you will know that you tried everything you could," said Dr. Chen. "Sometimes we cannot control the outcome, but we can always control our effort. That is enough." As Veltar absorbed these ideas, his energy field grew stronger and more stable. The dark spots of worry became smaller. The chaotic patterns organized themselves into beautiful flowing designs. Dr. Yelena checked her readings. Again, his dimensional coherence is now 30% above normal levels. He is not just healed, he is enhanced. Dr. Zexai was amazed. "How is this possible?" Dr. Chen sipped her tea thoughtfully. "I think Veltar learned something about himself that he never knew before. He learned that his emotional health and his physical health are the same thing. Now that he knows how to take care of both, he can be stronger than ever." She looked at all the alien doctors. This is why humans might be useful to the galactic medical community. We've been studying the connection between mind and body for thousands of years. We know that healing is not just about fixing broken parts. It's about helping the whole person become strong and balanced. Dr. Kethmer was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. I owe you an apology, Dr. Chen. I thought your methods were primitive and unscientific. But you have achieved something that all our advanced technology could not do. Your technology is amazing, said Dr. Chen. But it was designed to treat diseases that work like your own species' diseases. Ethereals are different. They needed a different kind of healing. Veltar's voice was strong and clear now. Dr. Chen, I cannot thank you enough. I feel better than I have in years. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. You did the real work, said Dr. Chen. I just gave you some tools to help yourself. Dr. Zexai looked at the readings one more time. Ambassador, your quantum matrix is completely stable. You are ready to return to the peace talks whenever you feel prepared. Veltar's light pulsed with excitement. I am ready now. For the first time in months, I feel confident that we can find a way to peace. As the alien doctors prepared to discharge, their patient, they realized that everything they thought they knew about medicine had just changed. A simple human with a cup of tea had taught them that sometimes the most advanced treatment is also the most basic one, caring about the patient as a whole person, not just a collection of symptoms. Dr. Chen finished her tea and stood up. Velta, remember what we practiced. When you feel stressed during the negotiations, use the breathing and visualization techniques. Stay connected to your hope, not your fear. I will, promised Veltar. And Dr. Chen. When I succeed in making peace, it will be because you taught me how to find peace within myself first.